Have you ever felt like you're visiting the bathroom far more than you used to, especially at night? You're not alone. For millions of men over 60, the culprit is often an enlarged prostate, or what doctors call BPH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. And in the search for natural relief, one name keeps popping up over and over: Palmetto. So I decided to put it to the test myself. As a urologist who works with seniors every day, I've seen Palmetto in hundreds of supplement bottles. Patients talk about it. TV ads hype it. But I wanted to know, does it really work? Or is it just another over-the-counter promise with no payoff? I committed to taking Palmetto every single day for a full 30 days. Same dose. Same brand. No other new medications. I tracked everything, from nighttime trips to the bathroom, to urinary flow, energy, and even how I slept. And in this video, I'll show you exactly what happened, week by week. What changed, what didn't, and what surprised me the most. But before we jump in, let's answer one question I get asked constantly. What exactly is Palmetto, and why do so many men think it's the answer to prostate problems? We'll cover that next. Palmetto. You've probably seen it on supplement shelves at pharmacies or health stores. A small, palm-like plant native to the southeastern United States. But for men over 60? It's often marketed as nature's answer to an enlarged prostate. But what does science really say? Let's break it down. Palmetto contains compounds like beta-sitosterol, fatty acids, and plant sterols. These are believed to interact with DHT, that's dihydrotestosterone, the hormone strongly linked to prostate growth in aging men. In fact, in lab studies, Palmetto has been shown to inhibit the enzyme 5-alpha reductase, which is the same target as some prescription drugs like finasteride. That's a big deal. Because if you can reduce DHT, you might be able to slow or even reverse prostate enlargement. But here's where it gets tricky. Some studies, especially older ones, showed real promise. A 1998 meta-analysis from the Journal of the American Medical Association found that Palmetto improved urinary symptoms and flow measures just as effectively as some pharmaceuticals, and with fewer side effects. Sounds amazing, right? But then came newer studies, like a large one from 2011 published in the New England Journal of Medicine. This study found no significant difference between Palmetto and placebo after 72 weeks. So which is it? Helpful or hype? Well, here's what many doctors, myself included, believe. Palmetto may not work for everyone, but in mild to moderate cases of BPH, especially in men who want to avoid side effects of stronger drugs, it can make a difference. It's also incredibly well tolerated by most people. That's why I decided to test it on myself for 30 days. But I didn't just want to rely on how I felt. I tracked specific metrics: nighttime urination, how often I got up at night, stream strength and ease of flow, bladder urgency, and even my blood pressure, since Palmetto can sometimes affect circulation. The next parts of this video will walk you through how each week went, and the changes I experienced, good and bad. But remember, I'm not here to sell you on Palmetto. I'm here to show you what it did, honestly, for a man in his 60s with mild symptoms of prostate enlargement. Pause, soft background music shift. So, how did week 1 go? Let's find out in the next part. Day 1. I took one 320 milligrams capsule of standardized Palmetto extract with breakfast. I made no other major changes. Same diet, same water intake, same bedtime routine. I wanted to isolate the effects. To be honest, I didn't expect anything right away. Most natural remedies take time. But within 3 to 4 days, I noticed something curious. I wasn't waking up 3 times a night anymore. Just once. And on the 5th night, I actually slept straight through until 5:30 a.m. Now, that might not seem dramatic. But for men over 60, uninterrupted sleep is a gift. Less grogginess. More energy. A clearer head in the morning. Still, I had to wonder, was it the supplement, or just a coincidence? So I kept tracking everything in a small notebook by my bed. Another small shift that caught my attention. The urgency when I needed to urinate had reduced slightly. Instead of that panicked rush to the bathroom, I had a little more control. Not a huge difference, but noticeable. There were no side effects so far. No nausea, no dizziness, no changes in libido. And no change in blood pressure either. By the end of week 1, here's what I logged. Nighttime urination, down from 2 to 3 times to just 1. Flow strength, slightly improved, less dribbling at the end. Urgency, slightly better. Energy levels, better, likely due to better sleep. Side effects, none. Was it placebo? Maybe. But my body was reacting to something. Still, I knew it was early. Many herbs like Palmetto take 2 to 6 weeks to show their full effect. But if this was just the beginning, I was optimistic. Let's see what happened in week 2, because that's when the real test began. By the second week, I was no longer skeptical. Every man over 60 knows this. When your prostate flares up, your bladder becomes a tyrant. And when it calms down, life changes in subtle but powerful ways. Let me walk you through what changed for me in week 2. White heavy checkmark sleep. I went 5 nights in a row without getting up once. Even when I did need to go, I didn't feel that pressure-filled panic. Instead, it was like my bladder had more patience. White heavy checkmark flow strength. There was a marked difference. I wasn't hesitating as much before the stream began. And perhaps more importantly, the dribbling at the end was less. That part might feel small to some. But if you've ever stood in a cold bathroom for minutes, waiting for your body to finish, you understand how much this matters. White heavy checkmark daytime urgency. Here's something I didn't expect. I no longer needed to scout out the nearest bathroom every time I left the house. Whether it was a walk with my wife or a drive to the clinic. That background anxiety about urination had faded noticeably. I began to feel more in control. And at this age, control is everything. Stethoscope side effects? None. Still no stomach issues. No changes in mood or energy levels, other than the natural boost from better sleep. And I checked my blood pressure regularly. Palmetto didn't seem to affect it at all. By day 14, here's what I wrote in my tracking log. Nighttime urination, down to 0 to 1 times per night. Flow hesitation, much reduced. Urgency, improved both night and day. Confidence, higher. Side effects, still none. Now this is just my body. But it got me wondering, was this the peak? Or was something even better around the corner? Let's go to week 3. By week 3 I felt like I had adjusted to the routine. Same time every day, 1 soft gel with breakfast. Simple. Easy. Uneventful. But then something unexpected happened. Brain mental sharpness. I hadn't been looking for this. But I noticed I was more focused. My morning paperwork was smoother. Patient charts weren't as draining to review. Even casual conversations with colleagues felt sharper. Could this be related to better sleep from fewer nighttime interruptions? Possibly. Because deep sleep improves everything, memory, cognition, mood. But I did a little digging. Turns out, some compounds in Palmetto might help reduce inflammation system-wide, not just in the prostate. Lower inflammation equals better blood flow. Better blood flow equals better oxygen to the brain. And better brain function equals the kind of alertness I was starting to feel. So while I can't say this supplement turned me into a genius overnight, I can say that I felt mentally clearer than I had in months. Man health worker patient case comparison. That same week, a longtime patient of mine, 68, ex-military, came in for a checkup. He'd started the same Palmetto trial a week behind me. He said, "Doc, I don't know what this stuff is doing to my bladder, but my wife says I'm less grumpy in the morning." We both laughed. But behind that laugh is something real. When your body stops battling discomfort every day, your mood improves. Your relationships improve. Your mind clears up. And in your 60s or 70s, that's priceless. Stop sign reminder, no miracle cure. Let's be clear. This wasn't a magical transformation. I didn't feel 20 again. My prostate didn't shrink overnight. But the cumulative effect was becoming hard to ignore. Better sleep. Better urination control. Better mood. Better focus. And all from something natural. With no noticeable side effects after 3 weeks. I was cautiously optimistic. But I still had 1 more week to go. Let's see what week 4 brought. By the 4th week, something had shifted. It wasn't dramatic, but it was undeniable. Droplet fewer nighttime trips. I tracked my bathroom visits during the night. Week 1, 3 to 4 times. Week 2, down to 2. Week 3, averaging 1. Week 4, just once, and on 2 nights not at all. For someone over 60, that's impressive. Was it the Palmetto? The pumpkin seed oil? The lifestyle tweaks I made alongside? Most likely, it was all of them together. Test tube my lab results. I had blood work done at the start and end of the experiment. My PSA levels stayed within the normal range. No dramatic drops, but no increases either. No signs of liver stress. No blood pressure spikes. In other words, safe and stable. My sleep tracker showed longer deep sleep cycles. My resting heart rate dropped by 3 points. Again, no miracle. But these small wins matter. Especially when they add up. Man in lotus position, how I felt. More rested. More comfortable. Less anxious about urgency or accidents. And perhaps most importantly, more in control of my own body. That's something many of my senior patients desperately want. Stop sign what I want you to understand. If you're over 60 and waking up multiple times a night, you're not alone. But you don't have to just accept it. Natural support like saw palmetto, pumpkin seed oil, or pygeum can help, especially when combined with less caffeine after 2 p.m., no fluids after dinner, a healthy diet, and stress reduction. But don't self-diagnose. If your symptoms are worsening, or if you notice blood in urine, pain, or a weak stream, see a urologist immediately. Some prostate problems are serious, and early action can save your life. Stethoscope, my final verdict. Would I continue taking this supplement? Yes. But I'd cycle it, 3 months on, 1 month off, to give my system a break. Would I recommend it to my patients? Also yes, as long as they clear it with their doctor first. Natural doesn't always mean harmless. But in this case for me, it made a real difference. If you're struggling with nighttime urination or just want to age with more control, talk to your doctor. Look into safe, researched natural options. And don't be afraid to try what works for your body. Because after 60, every hour of sleep matters. And every bathroom trip you can avoid is a small victory.